Hello and welcome to the third page of the set text booklet. Where did we leave off? If we go back to the end of page 2, we were saying things like the locals say these things, the earth itself to give forth hekastote each time. Let's just look at the vocab. Anadidomi has an infinitive, anadidonai. So didonai is the slightly weird infinitive of didomi. You've met one or two of these me verbs already. They end mu, iota. You've already met tithemi, I place. You've also met fermi, I say, which is the most common one. But there's a small set of them, and you're not to worry about them. They're quite common though. Didomis give hekastote each time. Hekastos means each. That's certainly in the GCSE vocab. Kaleo is to call. Kataskopos is a scout. Autika immediately. I think you may know that. Pempo is send. There's a deponent verb metapempomai, which is to summon, to send for. Elephantine is an island on the river Nile. Epistemai, oh sorry, I've left out the fish eaters, there they are. The ichthyophagic people, the fish eaters. Don't forget ephagon is the strong aorist of esthio, so ichthuagoi, the fish eaters. Epistemai is to understand, to know. The science of knowledge, and when we truly know something, that's called epistemology, connected with that word. And there's glotta. You can also see it in Greek as double sigma, glossa, which means language. So back to the top then, and we carry on. So the locals say that this table gives forth, produces these meats, these cooked meats of all quadrupeds, of itself each time. It's a con, of course, because the suggestion is that this table is magically self-restocking, when in fact there are people going out at night and placing all the meats on the table. Anyway, let's just see. I didn't mean to do that, so let's get rid of that. Okay. Right, so on the one hand, if we have to translate that, if it's insisted, the table called of the sun is said to be thus, such a thing, toyade. Notice maybe, since participles are all the go at the moment, so you've got the verb kaleo, which is I call. You then end up with kalumenos, which is the passive present participle, being called. You could translate that word as so-called. The so-called table of the sun is said to be thus. If lego means I say, legomai means I am said, omai, a, etai, omatha, esther, ontai. And just for the sake of comparison there, notice that I've just obliterated the final iota there, but anai is the very familiar common infinitive to be, anai. Didonai is to give. So you can see the connection there between these two irregular infinitives. There are similarities certainly between the two. But certainly at the endings, there are one or two verbs with this weird way of forming the infinitive. Okay, line 8. So then, hos is when. Hos sedoxa, when it seemed good. Dative of Cambyses, when it seemed good to Cambyses. Therefore, and there's the, of course, there's the de that goes with the men. It's difficult to see a real connection between the men and the de there. So maybe it's just easier to leave it out and not bring out the contrast. I can't really see any real contrast between, on the one hand, the table of the sun, so-called, is said to be thus, and but. It's just two almost unrelated sentences. I'm not going to ponder further. But when Cambyses decided to send the spies, the scouts, skopeo is another verb that means look. I think you've had the word previously meaning spies or scouts, katoptos. So there we go, katoptos there, and we certainly had that connected with a verb as well, to spy. But let's not worry about the fact we just appear to have synonyms in Greek. That's hardly surprising. But when Cambyses decided to send the spies, at once he summoned from Elephantine, from the city of Elephantine, and he decided to summon, by the way, just in case I've not mentioned this yet, let's just look at this island, Elephantine. There apparently is the west bank of Elephantine, if you need to know where it is in Egypt. There it is on the Nile, not too far from the Aswan Dam. The Persians, by the way, thanks to Cyrus the Great, had already more or less control of Upper Egypt, and were seeking, Cambyses was certainly seeking to extend southwards to Lower Egypt and then beyond into what today would be the Sudan and the Horn of Africa, and down that Indian Ocean coast of Africa. That was the dream, anyway, of Cambyses. Right, so immediately he summoned from the city of Elephantine Tinas, masculine accusative plural, certain of the fish-eating men. Epistemai, I know. Epistamenous, knowing. The language, the Ethiopian language. Ten Ithopida glotan. Okay, that's page 3 done and dusted.